Herkese merhaba arkadaşlar, kanalıma hoş geldiniz. Yeni bir Sherlock Holmes Chapter One videosuyla tekrardan karşınızdayım. Arkadaşlar, destekleriniz için kanala abone olmayı ve videoyu beğenmeyi unutmayalım. Şimdiden iyi seyirler. Şimdi
Do you know what makes a lady happy?
mevzu
Paid rent.
burada kalmıştı.
It's time for some chemical magic, John.
Kimyasal analiz yapalım bakalım. Gerçi kimyasal analizde pek sevmiyorum ama mecbur geçeriz burayı herhalde direkt. Bu ne yapacağız? Direkt X geç space kabul et başarılı.
That doesn't look like the painting we need, Sherry.
As expected, but that doesn't mean it won't tell us anything.
Şimdi
Let's
burada
put it on
ne?
the easel where it belongs.
Burada odanın natürmort bir resmi diyor. Bunu resim sehpasına koyamalıyız. Koydum. Ne farklılıklar var? Vazo var. Şu aynada bir at kafası mı? Öküz kafası mı ne? O yok. Böyle bakalım. Gerçi bu resimlere baktık. Bu. Ama niye almıyor ki bunu? Ha, kanadı mı iliştireceğiz anlamadım ki. Ha, kanadı iliştir diyeceğiz buna. CSESC ya.
The photograph was not pulled out in time. Such a waste of... Look at this, John. Isn't it our stolen demon? I guess this is his most ordinary painting. Spot the two differences, John?
At kafası yok. Aa, çıktı. Demek ki
Nothing behind it. If the intruder didn't take it, the skull should be somewhere here.
aynen öyle. Kafatası resimdeki farklı. Buradaydı.
Monster was actually a man. Poor girl. John, you ought to be thrilled. We are now hunting the devil himself.
What were you saying, Sherry? I was too busy sketching the scene, you know, crimes and such like, daily routine. Did you find something?
A photograph. It depicts a man in a red suit with tails sprouting from his back and multiple people in masks watching the scene. It all adds up. But the act of love, it wasn't given willingly, John. It was a violation. And the girl, she was with child.
Give that to me now. Did you recognize someone?
No. Although the victim is not from Cordona, she is African. Look at the ritual scars on her face.
Get that image out of your brain. You have to continue the investigation.
I must speak to the landlady. Perhaps she saw or heard something.
Sherry, you cannot tell her the truth about Mercurio. It will hurt her.
John, that's illogical. Sooner or later, she will come here and discover a corpse, and I still need to talk to her.
Just avoid mentioning corpse. All right? Stick to the character. Tell her to call the police.
I'll take that into account.
And wait here. I've redrawn the people in the photograph. Now you can proceed with your investigation without those horrific details.
Bakalım başka bir şey var mı?
Nothing behind it. Red skin, tails on the back. Reminds me of
Yeah.
Verda's description of the stolen painting.
What's wrong, dear? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Can you tell me if anyone else has recently entered the flat?
Oh, you're talking about that limping
Vay.
man. I'm sorry I let him in.
Bu
I was scared.
ressamın galerisindeki
And I
adam da
thought
topaldı gerçi.
maybe he would motivate you to find money so that you would pay your rent. No offense, dear.
Can you describe him?
Oh, so you weren't at home. I was so certain you didn't leave your flat that day. He was of average height, had a limp and a tattoo on his neck, and he was smoking Malpal cigarettes. My husband used to smoke those.
Malpal sigara.
They
Gerçi
have a
oradaki de
horrible smell I can
Malpal'dı.
recognize from a mile away.
Can I ask a favor?
Of course, dearie.
Please call the police and ask them to enter the flat. And don't look inside until they come up.
What? What trouble have you stepped in this time?
It really doesn't matter. Thank you, Mum.
Phew, Sherry, that was close. But you did everything correctly. Now, take off your outfit. I can't let you walk around in a dead man's clothes. Poor chap.
Şimdi ne var elimizde? Kanıtlı ilişkiler. Joe'nun hamile kadını yeniden resmedişi diyor. Bunu mecbur soracağız insanlara.
Do you know anything about this?
Sorry, but I never heard of this.
May I ask for your assistance?
I don't talk to strangers.
Everyone's
Yabancılarla
looking at us,
konuşmuyorsa
Sherry.
o zaman
You sure you know?
Osman
Selam.
Aleykümselam canım. Aa, kıyafetçi bura mı? Şu mu? Nerede lan? Bulamadık kıyafetçiyi. Şuraya bir gidelim o zaman. Terse mi gidiyoruz? Aynen şöyle.
Another knife in the pillar.
With what you've taken.
Another knife in the pillar. Another.
Haps. Aile şerefi. Hayır. Emperyalist fetihler. Aile şerefi de var.
Another knife in the pillar.
At. At. Kan davası dedi. Bazı acımasız gelenekler modern dünyamızda ağırlığını sürdürüyor. Gıcak, marja ve diğer adıyla kan davası Kordon'un en önemli geleneklerinden biri. İnsanlar akla gelebilecek en barbarca yöntemlerle kan ve onur intikamları alıyor. ABD'deki her bıçak başarılı bir intikamı simgeliyor. Bu çok korkunç. İşin en kötü tarafı insanların bu korkunç geleneğin sonuçlarını telafi edememesi ve onlarla birlikte yaşamak zorunda kalması.
Can I ask you a question?
Nothing stands between me and helping a fellow citizen, except the absence of knowledge. Ask someone else.
Oriental rugs at a good price.
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
Just walk away, or I'll suddenly forget we are both Ottomans.
Oh, I am bored. Call me when you find the answer.
Help me, please.
That's new to me. There is nothing I can tell you.
Do you know anything about this?
Stay away from me and from people like me too, or you'll regret it.
This isn't working. You might need a different tack.
Are you able to help me?
Sorry, sir. I know nothing about that.
Ne güzel efendi yok diyor ya. Bilmiyorum diyor.
May I ask you something?
That's new to me. There is nothing I can tell you.
Everyone's looking at us, Sherry.
Ask you a question?
I wish I could help you, my brother, but I know nothing.
This isn't working. You might need a different tack.
Is this familiar to you?
I am sorry. That's not something I know.
Are you able to help me?
We should stick together, especially in times like this. I'll tell you everything I know.
Ana iyi bulduk lan. Vallahi bulduk. Kızın yüzündeki yaralar Eve etnik kabilesindekilere benziyor. Cordona'da Eve halkının bulunabileceği tek yer Scalado ile Silverton arasında Victoria Köprüsü'nün altındaki mülteci kampıdır. Victoria Köprüsü'nün altındaki mülteci kampı.
Beasts!
Aha geldik.
Murderers!
Can I ask you a question? I'm on a
First they come to our land, then they murder our people.
Drop them all into the sea!
May I ask for your assistance?
If you ask that again, I'll find out where you live and I'll break your windows.
Time to check your who, what, and what, Sherry. About what and dressed as what.
Are you able to help me?
Do I look like a fellow who has all the answers?
No. Do you know anything about this?
Don't distract me. I can't help you.
You obviously haven't thought this all through. Or are you just annoying these people on purpose?
Burada kıyafet değiştirelim.
Do you know anything about this?
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
Sir, this place is off limits to the public. Please state your business or leave, or I shall request that the police escort you out.
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm a private investigator. I'm looking for a witness for a case.
A private investigator? Really? Even so, you're not authorized. I can't let you in.
And you are?
I'm Ronald Harlow, here to handle the refugee situation on behalf of City Hall. I'm the acting supervisor here, so I have full authority here to ask you to leave, or I shall order the police to detain you for trying to pass the blockade. Please, step back.
Belediyede ona verilen mülteci kampına göz kulak olma görevini yerine getirmek için elinden geleni yapan solgun genç bir katip, böyle bir sorumluluk altına girdiği için çok da mutlu değil ama her şeyi kitabına uygun yapıyor ve verilen her görevi yerine getiriyor ama masasının dışında sorunu çözebilecek kadar tecrübesi yok. Küçük bir bıyık olduğundan daha yaşlı görünmeye çalışıyor. Solgun cildi ve gözaltı torbaları iyi aydınlatılmamış bir ofiste çalıştığını gösteriyor. Temiz ve hiç yıpranmamış ayakkabılarına bakılırsa ofisten pek ayrılmıyor. Şık kıyafetleri giyerek yetkili bir görünüme bürünmeye çalışır ama koronanın havasını göze alınca kıyafet alakası kalıyor. Terli avuç işleri Ronald Konfor'un.
The people in the crowd are shouting about a murder in the camp. Are you trying to hide it?
It's mere assumption. I assure you that the situation is under the police's control.
If it was under control, if there was no dead body, you wouldn't be as nervous as you are. You would be sitting in your cozy dark corner of a city hall room doing nothing as usual. Yet, you're here, trying to deal with a series of problems you never asked for.
These insults are inappropriate. You don't know what I'm doing for this camp. Even though the rest of City Hall doesn't give a bloody squat about the refugees, maybe I didn't want to be assigned to this camp. But I'm trying to do my best for these people. If not for my work, they might not have any shelter or food even.
I apologize, Mr. Harlow. Perhaps I was prejudiced towards you, but in any case, I'm sure that you would still want this to be over as quickly as possible. The current reality is that neither you nor the police are managing things well here. You are unable to calm the crowd. You have simply never handled a situation like this before.
What are you driving at, Mr. Holmes?
I can help you to handle the situation if you're truly interested in solving things quickly and quietly.
And how exactly would you manage that?
Simply tell the police that I'm with City Hall and I'm permitted to investigate the scene. I'll work out the rest, but in return I need your help finding my witness. She's a young refugee. She's with child or was with child recently.
Look, there is indeed a dead body inside the camp. So even if the girl you are looking for is there, all the refugees are now being detained and interrogated by the police. They won't allow you to speak with her, and I can't do anything about that until the situation settles down.
So it's in our mutual interest to settle it.
Oh. I suppose that things are bad enough that I ought not shy away from help. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell the police to allow you to come inside. Just tell me when you're ready.
Mr. Harlow, how did the refugees end up here exactly?
Oh, so you're not from around here yourself?
I've been away for some time, but I read the papers.
Yes, this whole story has been in the papers for almost a year now. They were smuggled to Cordona on a ship from Africa.
Smuggled? Then why didn't you deport them?
The smugglers managed to sneak them to shore and hide them inside an abandoned warehouse. When the police raided the warehouse and found the refugees there, the ship was already gone. We aren't even certain as to which ship it was. We have busy shipping routes with other colonies these days, you see.
So you decided to lock them up under a bridge?
There was no other option. We're still trying to work out what to do with them. I only hope we'll find a humane solution and not put them on a raft and float them out to sea.
Mr. Harlow, what exactly do you do here? What are your responsibilities?
What I do and what I am responsible for are two different realities, Mr. Holmes. On paper, I am in charge of the camp territory, security, provision, and the refugees in general. What I actually do most of the time is knock on every City Hall door trying to obtain some funding, or at least rations for the camp.
Are the police here on City Hall's behalf too?
They are, minus those who came here after the body was found. The governor won't let the refugees disperse into the island, so there's a significant police presence guarding the camp. Naturally, they answer directly to the police. I have some influence here, but I'm not their direct authority.
I'm ready to take a look at the scene.
All right. Go inside the camp and find Inspector Tewkesbury. He's the officer investigating the scene. Tell him I sent you. Say you're an independent expert from City Hall. He'll fill in the details for you.
I'll find my way with words. Thank you, Mr. Harlow.
Beasts!
So they keep these refugees under a bridge like proverbial trolls. No wonder the people outside are so disturbed.
Who the hell are you? How did you get in here?
Mr. Ronald Harlow let me in, sir. I'm Sherlock Holmes, a surveyor of refugee affairs with City Hall. You're Inspector Tewkesbury, I presume?
A surveyor? What does that even mean?
In short, I've been sent to conduct an extensive report on the incident for the Colonial Office and to assess all the damage inflicted on state property.
Got it. Another paperworm sent to count money and get food for archive mold. Go on, look around, but don't make yourself too at home. As if I didn't have enough problems before you appeared.
Could you first tell me what happened here?
What happened? People from the bridge above the camp heard a woman screaming and saw a mass of refugees attacking a man. Clearly not a refugee. When the camp guards came by, the man was floating in the sewage canal with a knife in his chest. Bam. A murder. Big news for Cordona.
I'm sure. Thank you, Inspector. And none of the refugees were harmed?
One fellow was cut. He's lying over there near their kitchen. He's in a bad way.
You mentioned a woman screaming who attracted the bypassers on the bridge. Was she harmed?
No, she's all right, but perhaps the whole debacle started because of her. She started wailing and the refugees stood up for the girl.
And where is this young woman now?
Back there in the shacks, same as the rest of the refugees. She's being questioned by my men, but she's just some refugee girl. Can't understand much English.
Did you learn anything about the dead man?
The fellow looks like a thug. I've had dozens like him fished out of the sea over the past 20 years. Ever since these refugees arrived, there have been people on Cordona with bad blood in them. My best bet is that this thug had something against them too.
And no clue as to his identity?
He had some items on his body, but nothing to indicate who he was or where he was from.
I think I should catalogue his possessions in my records.
Go on. They're on the table near the body.
Do you have any suspects yet?
You're joking, right? I've got a whole camp full of suspects. And if you ask me, this bloke had it coming. Better bury him and forget about the whole thing. And now there's a crowd gathered at the camp, and my superiors say we must thoroughly interrogate the refugees. At least those who can understand any English.
Do you believe that your superiors wish to get rid of the refugees?
I think that both our superiors would rather keep the story quiet. Since that's an unaffordable luxury now, they're looking how to protect their public image. That's why I have to waste my time waiting for my people to turn every stone and befriend every refugee.
What a pleasant man this Mr. Tewkesbury is.
I'm busy. Don't you have papers
Here we
to
go
fill?
again. Number of hours on
City
Cordona
Hall
before
Clubheads.
stumbling upon another dead body. 0.
A fresh crack, as if the crate was hit recently. Someone bled profusely here. An interesting tattoo.
Ha, bu
Does it
adam
mean
mı lan?
something? A steel dirk, sharp. A common accessory among sailors and soldiers. Coal dust under the nails. I don't see much coal around here. Heavy boots, with one sole far more worn than the other.
O
This
adam,
man
o
was
adam.
limping John. I'd say the blade penetrated upward, however the wound is too messy to be certain. A violent death. But this man, limping, coal dust, I think we're onto something here, John.
Such a
If
mess.
they find out about
Let's
the
figure it
passage,
out.
everything will go.
Polis memurları ceset yüzünden kampın tam tecrit altına alınacağından ve kurdukları tertip sayesinde sağladıkları para akışını kaybedeceklerinden korkuyorlar. Vay
Nobody will know
gondiler.
anything if you keep your bloody mouth shut.
Haha.
The coppers smell fishy. Sherry, just look at this. Living quarters in a sewer. What kind of a genius... We have seen some dark places in Cordona. But this... Such a mess. Let's figure it out.
Oh, carnelian agate beads, a traditional African adornment.
Kadın mı öldürdü acaba la bunu?
It might have been used as an improvised weapon. No hint of blood or impact. The blood sprayed off the blade after the strike.
Such a mess. Let's figure it out.
He is in shock, feverish and dehydrated. The cut is deep, potentially serious if not treated immediately.
Sherry, you know first aid. Surely you have a duty to help this man. I think we can find all we need here in the camp. Let's have a good look around.
May I ask for your assistance?
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
Someone was dragged against their will.
The refugees have been detained and will not leave until all the circumstances are clarified. Back off.
Senin anana avradın ite bak.
Are you able to help me?
Nothing I can tell you, sir, but others might know more.
Such a mess. Let's figure it out.
Tabii. Ha burada da delil varmış la.
A furrow in the ground. A blood trail leading to or from the canal. Clearly a left handprint here. A man's footprint. A heavy boot with a worn-out sole. Police boots. Always happy to trample evidence.
I think we can find all we need here in the camp. Let's have a good look around.
You still here? Don't bother someone else with this, son. I've already told you all I've learned.
The guards at the sewers were speaking about taking refugees out of the camp. Do you know anything about this, Inspector?
Less than you do, obviously.
And this doesn't bother you as an officer of the law?
I can neither punish them nor put them on the right track, if that's what you're asking. Maybe your friends at City Hall could do something about it, but I seriously doubt that. To be honest, I'm sick and tired of being frowned on for my uniform. If those fine gentlemen you've eavesdropped on are in some shady business, that's on their heads. I'm busy. Don't you have papers to fill? City Hall lubberheads.
We have seen some dark places in Cordona, but this...
I hope I'm not making a grave mistake in trusting you, Mr. Holmes.
Din sarayına bir gidelim bakalım. Yaralı mülteci.
Who isn't allowed to visit the crime scene these days? Who isn't allowed to visit the crime scene these days?
Can I ask you a question?
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
Do you know anything about this?
Nothing I can tell you, sir, but others might know more.
Everyone's looking at us, Sherlock.
You sure you know what you're doing?
I'm busy. Don't you have papers to fill? City Hall lubberheads.
Can I ask you a question?
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
Nothing I can tell you, sir, but others might know more.
You obviously haven't thought this all through.
May I ask you something?
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
Help me, please.
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
Everyone's looking at us, Sherlock.
Excuse me, just one question. You sure you know
Nothing I
what
can
you're
tell you, sir,
doing?
but others might know more.
Such a mess. Let's figure it out.
Is this familiar to you?
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
Everyone's looking at us, Sherry.
You sure you know what you're doing? May I ask you something?
Nothing I can tell you, sir, but others might know more.
Back off.
Back off.
No one deserves to end up in a place like this.
Someone was dragged against their will.
İçeride müfettişin söylediği şey vardı. Masada deliller, kanıtlar diye. Oraya baktık mı? Yok. Aynen.
Malpal.
Malpal.
Soaked with salt water.
Almal.
£1,000. A fair sum, especially considering British currency isn't very common in Cordona. A simple leather sheath. Perfect for a dirk. You know what? I'd like to understand.
What?
How did our dead man end up inside the camp in the first place?
Bir yaralı adam nerede? Heh. Ya. Yaralı mülteci. Kanadı bir iliştirdiğini.
Could you help me?
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
Bugün diye bir şeyler bulacağız.
Just washed. Better than nothing to bandage the wound.
Şununla da bir şey var.
I'll use it to create a solution.
Başka ne var? Yarayı dezenfekte edecek. Suyla temizleyeceğiz. Şu bitkide bir şey olabilir mi?
That will kill, not save him.
Öldürecekse abi niye gösteriyor ki yani? Bunda bu neymiş? Kamış.
It won't do any good.
Bunda bir şey olabilir mi? Veya şunda.
Nausea and stomach pain is not what he needs now. I can use this to stop the infection from spreading.
Dayıyı bir iyi edelim de.
May I ask for your assistance?
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
Is this familiar to you?
Nothing I can tell you, sir, but others might know more.
Time to check your who, what and what, Sherry.
Kimyasal analiz falan mı var la acaba? Yeah.
Who are you asking? About what and dressed as what? Such a mess. Let's figure it out. I think we can find all we need here in the camp. Let's have a good look around.
Tamam. Bütün şeyleri topladım ben. Elbiseyi almamışız diye.
Excuse me, just one question.
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
Abi. Tamam. Durun.
Can I ask you a question?
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
This isn't working. You might need a different tack.
I've collected all the ingredients, now to prepare the first aid solution.
Kimyasal analiz. Mecbur geçeceğiz bunu. Dayıyı iyi edelim.
Thank you. This should make you feel better, my friend. Now remain lying down and drink as much water as you can.
Well done, Sherry. At least he won't die from the infection.
Arkadaşlar bir videomuzun daha sonuna geldik. Bir sonraki videoda görüşmek üzere. Kendinize iyi bakın.